Hello there, and happy Halloween! Halloween's such a fun time where people go around in crappy costumes they bought last second and dress up as monsters. Meanwhile, I have to pretend like I'm not one every waking moment. People also like watching scary movies during Halloween, and what we're talking about today almost fits into that category. It's gonna be nice. Just sit here and talk about a movie with no hindrances. Sup? Jesus Christ! No, Ben, I'm Bully. How did you get back in here? Ben, I can teleport. And you don't lock your front door. Add that to my bully contingencies. What was that? Nothing. Okay, talk about the movie. How long have you been standing there? Longer than you've been talking now. Get to more talking before it ends up like last time. Yes, sir. Tim Burton is arguably one of the most famous directors of our time. Director of movies such as some pretty good Batman movies, a god-awful remake of an RE mid-story, a bad remake of an RE mid-story, and a lot of movies with Johnny Depp. I don't have a comment for that last one. But before all those movies of ranging quality, he started off with a movie that would define his style of movies, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Yeah, sure, this was Tim Burton who directed this and not his cousin Timmy Burton. But then he would go on to create a movie that would define his style of movies 3 years later with Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a 1988 American dark fantasy comedy horror directed by Tim Burton. It was based on a screenplay by Michael McDowell and Warren Scarron based on a story by McDowell and Larry Wilson. After the success of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Burton was a bankable director and was working on the script for the first Batman movie. He was shown the script by Scarron and McDowell and liked it, but he was busy with other stuff. The script was originally much darker, as we'll get to later, but a rewrite took place where the movie took a much lighter tone. Many actors were considered for the titular roles, including Sammy Davis Jr., Dudley Moore, and Sam Kinison. Burton was not familiar with Michael Keaton, but he was quickly convinced that Keaton would fit the role. The budget for the movie was, oh my god, get to the movie. Fine, you chemical romance reject, have it your way. After a credit scene with a banger song in the background, because Danny Elfman is a top-tier composer, we meet Adam and Barbara Maitland, our main couple for the movie, who are spending their summer vacation decorating their country home. Adam also has a hobby of building a scale model of the town up in the attic. Local real estate agent Jane pesters them to sell the house to unsuccess. But as they're driving home from town, a dog appears in the middle of the road, so they try and swerve and their car falls off a bridge and into the river. Well, that was quick. See? We're not even close to done yet. Get? The couple returns home, but they don't remember how they got back. Adam attempts to leave the house, but he ends up in a desert dimension with gigantic sandworms. Will Adam learn to become the Lisan al-Gaib by the end of this? What? Dune fanboy brain go brrrr. Barbara manages to pull him out of there, but she says that he's been gone for 2 hours when it was only a couple seconds for him. They end up finding a book titled Handbook for the Recently Deceased. I wish they had a handbook for a living. That's called WikiHow, Ben. You're hilarious. I'll take the compliment. After realizing that they have no reflection, the couple realize that they're dead and have become ghosts. Ooh. Their house is sold to the Dietzes, including Charles, the real estate agent dad, Delia, the sculptor stepmom, and Lydia. Picture Wednesday Addams, but if she lived with a normal family and not the Addams. It's really insane to me how much Jenna Ortega was born to be in a Beetlejuice sequel, but we'll get to that movie later. Adam and Barbara are now fond of the new family in their home, so they try and read the handbook to see how they can get them out. They end up finding an ad for coked up Joker knockoff Michael Keaton, I mean Beetlejuice, which is not spelled like the title, it's Betelgeuse. Just wanted to mention that. The couple draws chalk on the brick wall, and they end up in a waiting room with more colorful recently deceased beings. The couple try to understand the complex rules of being dead, while Lydia ends up breaking into the attic and finds the handbook. I'll say this, the style that the afterlife has in this movie is so weird and visually distinct that I can only imagine Tim Burton doing this. Still blows my mind how he directed this boring slop. You and me both. Wait, am I agreeing with you? Don't question it, just keep talking. The couple end up back home, but it's revealed that they've been gone for 3 months and the Dietzes have completely renovated their house. They meet their caseworker Juno, who tells them that they have to scare the Dietzes off themselves and to avoid working with Beetlejuice, who used to be her assistant before becoming a bioexorcist. He can only be summoned by chanting his name 3 times, then we get this horrific death of a fly. Yummy. What's the matter, not a fan of inoffensive bugs? Yeah, I don't eat bugs. Like a normal person would. The couple decide to do the classic bedsheet ghost trick, which doesn't work, but they end up being caught by Lydia, who can see them because
live people ignore the strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual.
Fair enough. So Adam and Barbara try to tell Lydia why they're trying to scare their parents, but Lydia tells them that they're not going to be able to scare them off, and Adam and Barbara aren't going to be able to leave the house for 125 years. Lydia tries to convince her stepmom that ghosts are in the house, but she doesn't believe her. So the couple end up deciding to talk to Beetlejuice. Don't know if I would resort to summoning a bioexorcist demon this soon, but whatever helps, I guess. So they shrink down to the model of the town and end up digging up Beetlejuice. So we finally meet the psycho himself, and he is basically a Looney Tunes character in live action. So basically comedic Freddy Krueger. We don't talk about comedic Freddy.
I lived through the Black Plague and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it!
I'd love to believe Michael Keaton did not follow the script at all, and the crew was too scared to tell him to tone it down. So basically the 80s version of Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat. So Adam and Barbara end up deciding to go home after dealing with Juice's antics, and Beetlejuice drops an F-bomb. Then we cut to arguably the most iconic scene in the whole movie. The Deets are having dinner with some more wealthy people when the couple possess the group and force them to dance and sing Deo. I would love to play the scene, but copyright. Stupid copyright. The couple celebrate possibly scaring them out of the house, but Lydia tells them that it had the complete opposite effect. The rich people try to get the ghosts to come down, but Lydia says they refuse to, and the rich guests leave. Delia tries to get them to come down when the door opens. They look around and leave as their interior designer, Otho, steals the handbook. The group walk down as Beetlejuice appears as a giant snake and terrorizes the Deetses before Barbara comes and banishes Juice back to the model. Lydia believes that the Maitlands caused this, and Barbara scolds Juice for the snake bit. The PG-13 rating was made in 1984, 4 years before this movie released. The 80s, you could get away with so much back then. Wait, I thought you said you had amnesia. You got that in writing? You told me this. You told me this. I hate you. No, you don't. The couple get teleported to Juno's office and she scolds them for releasing Beetlejuice. Lydia writes a note about, removing herself from the living world. This got real dark real quick. Yeah, tell me about it. The Maitlands disform their faces in order to try and scare the Deets off again. Thanks, Burton. These images are going to be in my nightmares tonight. Lydia comes up to the attic to see the Maitlands, but ends up running into Juice. Juice almost manages to manipulate Lydia into saying his name, but the Maitlands arrive back just in time to stop her. Barbara tells Lydia that she shouldn't remove herself from the living world, there's gotta be a better non-demonetizing way to say that, and that they're not gonna try and scare them out of the house. Then all of a sudden, Otho and Charles come in and take the town model in order to show the higher-ups a possible theme park they can make about the ghosts they found. Yeah, the ghosts who aren't appearing to you are gonna agree to this. Idiot. He's rich. Of course he's an idiot. Otho says he can get the Maitlands to appear to Lydia's dismay.
Wait, what am I worried about? Otho, you can't even change a tire.
Absolute icon. Otho manages to summon the Maitlands in their wedding clothes, but they start to age quickly like Donovan in Last Crusade. Lydia in desperation decides to summon Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
He said the thing! Yeah! The juice is loose. I'm sorry, I had to. So he definitely kills these people, scares Otho off, and prepares to marry Lydia. Now let me pause here to talk about the original script for the movie. Now like I said before, the original script for the movie was really dark. The Maitland's death was meant to be much more graphic. Juice would be trying to kill the Deetses instead of scaring them, and Juice wouldn't be wanting marriage from Lydia, but something else. Yeah, that's what disgust feels like, you freak. The Maitlands manage to revert their age back and try to get rid of Juice, but he sends Adam to the town model and welds Barbara's mouth shut. Toon Force goes a long way. Then he sends Barbara to the Dune world. Adam manages to drive a toy car to Juice's foot, shocking him as Barbara drives a sandworm right into Juice. This is just the climax to Shrek. 13 years before that movie existed. The Maitlands and Deetses celebrate as we cut to the future where the Maitlands and Deetses live together and Juice waits for his turn in the afterlife. So there ends Beetlejuice, an 80s horror classic. This movie's biggest strength is definitely the star of the show. Beetlejuice is such a delight on screen, and Keaton's performance is so iconic for a reason. But even besides that, the story is fun to see play out. The characters of the Maitlands and Deetses are good characters, Lydia being a special highlight. The music is of course fantastic because Danny Elfman is a legend. The tone of the movie is one of the best Burton's films has ever had. And overall, it's just got fun vibes to it. It's not perfect, some of the effects haven't aged amazingly, some of the side characters are pretty forgettable, which is a massive deal, but still. The pacing can be a bit at times, but it's not horrible. The world building is a bit questionable at times, and that's about it. Overall, I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. Really fun movie that fits with the Halloween season perfectly. Well, this was fun while it lasted. You forgetting something? Oh yeah! So, quickly talking about Beetlejuice. Yeah, it was a fun sequel. Juice is once again the highlight, and Keaton's performance is once again excellent. Massive upgrade above this film. I like the arc Lydia has dealing with her PTSD with Beetlejuice and learning to connect more with her daughter Astrid, whom, speaking of which, Astrid is a great addition to the cast, and Jenna was great as her. I love that Burton kept the same style and effects as the original. It works so well, and it's pretty funny, but it's also got a lot of issues. It's got a little too much going on at times with all the subplots. The villain Dolores is a decent threat, but really boring as a character. The ending is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen, which I guess fits with Burton of all people. And some of the endings to characters and storylines are really anticlimactic, but it hasn't ruined the movie, and overall, it's a fun little sequel. 7.5 out of 10. I liked it. Also, I'm not sitting through 109 episodes of a cartoon just to talk about it for less than, if not, maybe a full minute. Okay, fair. Well, this was fun. Yeah. You know? He's in the walls. He's in the walls! Nah, I was just in the hallway. Oh, okay. As I was saying, I hate it when he does that. Happy Halloween, everyone.